Welcome back to the Fortunate Diehards podcast. Hashtag number 88. Andre Vasilevsky just lost you the game for you on NHL. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today is our Metropolitan Division preview. My name is Evan, and I'm an Ottawa Senators fan. Who are you?
Sorry, I was not there for a sec. I'm Omar, and I'm the Leafs fan.
The Leafs fan?
Well, the Leafs fan.
I'm Omar. I'm Sufyan, I'm a Cavs fan.
Amazing. So this is Sufi's episode, and Sufi is the mastermind, as we all know, so go ahead.
We're doing the Metro Division.
Sufi's favorite division. Only because
my team's in this division. Yeah, I hate most of the teams in this division. So, we're going to go through our teams. We're going to start with the Carolina Hurricanes. And their new additions are Nikolai Ehlers and Keandre Miller, and their key departures are Brent Burns and Dmitry Orlov. They have a pretty mid-ranked prospect pool. Nikishin played in the playoffs last year. Top prospect, and he's going to be in their top 6 this year. Nadeau is okay as well, and then after that they got a bunch of mid-tier prospects.
All right, the lines for this team are Ehlers with Aho and Jarvis, Svechnikov with Kotkaniemi and Stankoven, Hall with Stahl and Blake, Martinook with Jankowski and Robinson, then Carrier and Jost fighting for spots. On defense, we have Slavin and Chatfield, Miller and Walker, Gostisbehere and Nikishin, Riley and Shillington on PTO. In net, we have Frederik Andersen, Kochekov, and Caden Primo.
All right, last season they went 47-30-5, which was 10th in the league. They had 42 regulation wins, which was 5th. They lost in round 3 again in the playoffs, but they got one win this year in round 3. They had 3.24 goals for per game, which is 9th, and 2.8 goals against, which was 10th. 18.7 PP, which was 25th, and 83.6% PK, which was 1st. Damn. And 27 is their average age.
Omar, you can start with the forwards.
Okay, the forwards are a B+ for me. They don't hit A because I'm not a fan of that bottom 6 personally. Jordan Stahl is really old now. Taylor Hall is a kind of a hit or miss in terms of performance. I do like that they got Ehlers, which bumps their grade up a bit. And I'm interested to see what Stankoven can do this year in his first full season. He did have a pretty good playoffs, and he did perform well when he came to Carolina last season. So, I'm
going to give it an A-. I think they have quite a strong forward core. They have a kind of mix of everything. You have some middle-aged people like Ehlers and Aho, with some younger people who are kind of breaking out with Jarvis and Stankoven. Aho, obviously, probably being your best forward, being a center, which is extra valuable, with a couple of veterans in Hall and Stahl that I think bring some probably different aspects to the lineup. So I think it's a pretty solid one.
I give it A- as well. I think the center depth is kind of they don't really have a second line center. They kind of just rotate between Kotkaniemi and Stahl, really. And then the wingers are pretty strong. It's a very similar forward core, actually, to St. Louis, so I give it B+, but I think it's just a touch better than theirs. A- for me.
On defense, I will give them an B+ again. I obviously have Slavin. They have Slavin, who's probably the best defenseman in the league at this point. I guess Gostisbehere is decent as a third pairing guy. I think a B+.
Sure, I'll do a B+ as well. I think Carolina's always very good structurally, defensively. Having Slavin really helps, and then acquiring Miller as a younger guy who can hopefully continue to grow into a solid top 4. Gostisbehere for your power play. I don't think it's fantastic by any means, but I think it does the job.
I mean, for similar reasons, I give it a B. I think the depth is kind of shot a little bit after the pieces they lost, because Orlov and Burns got older, so I can see why they let them go, and they're hoping that Nikishin can fill in for that. But like Chatfield, Miller, Walker, Gostisbehere are all potentially top 4 defensemen on a lot of teams. But yeah, Slavin is far and away best defensive defenseman in the league for me. So I think because their team defense as a whole is good, their D core just needs to be decent. So it's a B for me.
And goalies. So I'm going to give goalies a B minus. That's mainly because I don't think Anderson has the capability of staying healthy. And I don't really know what we're going to get out of Kochetkov or Primo at this point. Yeah, B minus.
I was going to give it a B plus. I feel like they always have pretty good stats. When Anderson does play healthy, he usually does quite well. And then a pretty solid backup or starter, if you really want to call him the starter as well, because he'll probably play more games. And yeah, just how the team's usually built and plays. The goalies have good stats. So
it's a B minus for me as well, because if Anderson we could trust playing 50 games, it'd be a different story, but he won't. Never will. Probably again, especially at age 35 in his injury history. And then Kachekhov's like a 1B on a lot of teams, but he ends up playing the majority of the games, and he puts up a good GAA because of the team defense, and then his save percentage is always pretty bad. Like an 8.97 last year is not what I'd call a good starter. So B minus is actually being pretty generous, but it's mostly just hoping that Anderson can be remotely healthy.
All right. My X factor has to be Ehlers for a couple of reasons. One is obviously he's the big addition. He's also filling in shoes of first of all Natchez, and also the brief stint they had of Rantanen. So the key is going to be for Ehlers is, I think Ehlers kind of averages around 60-ish points generally. I don't know if he's ever had like a 80-point or something season, maybe once, I don't know. But can he kind of up to that kind of level? I don't think he can, but yeah. That's Ehlers. Oh yeah. Potential breakout, Stankoven. I think that's a big one for potential breakout. He did well he showed some good signs in the playoffs and even in parts of the season when he came last season. In the first full season with the team, regular lineup, top 6. Let's see what he can do. I think he has potential. And then bounce back. I'll say Anderson. I don't think his stats were amazing last season, and he was also injured a lot. Maybe he can be a bit more healthy and perform. Yeah,
my X factor is Sebastian Aho. I think he's their best player and continues to prove that year in and year out. Breakout, I think Jarvis will take an additional step. I could see him being similar to, I forget who I said last episode, but being more of a 35 to 40 goal scorer instead of a high 20s. And then bounce back, yeah. If Frederick Anderson can play games, he's your guy.
My X factor is Logan Stankoven. I think because of him being the big piece they got back in the Rantanen deal, they kind of expect him to go a little earlier than Dallas kind of had him going.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have to be more of the guy this year in the top 6, and he had a pretty good playoff, so I think he can do it. Breakout, I gave to Nikishin because I think with the pieces that left this D-core, they're going to need someone to step up, and with him, with his performance in the playoffs, it was actually pretty decent, so I could see him kind of working his way into the top 4, honestly, at some point. And bounce back, I actually have Svechnikov. We haven't really seen the best version of Svechnikov in the regular season for a couple of years. He's dropped down to like a 50-point player, but in the playoffs this year, he was absolutely insane for a lot of it, at least the first 2 rounds. So if we could see like a 65, 70-point season out of him, it'd be a big boost for this team.
All right. In the Metro standings for this season, my prediction is I've got the Hurricanes in 3rd in the division.
I have the Carolina Hurricanes 1st in the division.
I have them 1st as well. Okay, moving on to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Their new additions were Charlie Coyle, Miles Wood, Hudson Fasching, and Ivan Fedotov. Key departures with Justin Danforth and Sean Corrali. Again, this is just a mid prospect pool, just ahead of the Hurricanes, actually. Caden Lidstrom is like their major prospect. He was third or fourth overall a couple of years ago, but he was injured last year, and I think they're gonna hope that he plays in the AHL this year and take a big step. But the guy with the most interesting name, Delbel Blues, figures to get a shot in this lineup after his performance in the AHL last year. So,
all right, the lineups.
We have Voronkov with Monahan and Marchenko, Jenner with Fantilli and Johnson, Chinnikov with Coyle and Sillinger, Wood with Lundestrom and Olivier, Aston Reese, Delbel Belouz, and Fasching trying to break into the lineup. On defense, we have Werenski and Fabro, Provorov with Severson, Matchuk with Goodbranson, and Christensen with Smith. Then in goal, we have Merzlikins, Greaves, and Fedotov.
And last season, they had a record of 40, 33, and 9, which was 19th. They had 30 regulation wins, which was 18th. They missed the playoffs. They had 3.2 goals for per game, which was 8th, and 3.3 goals against, which was 25th. 19.5% power play, which was 22nd, and a 77% PK, which was also 22nd. And their average age is 26 years old. Evan, you want to start with this? Columbus Blue Jackets?
Yeah, I think the forward core is all right. I think there's a lot of young players, and when there's a lot of young players, there's a lot of room for mistakes to happen, but it is exciting to watch. I don't think it's horrible. I think their depth is all right, but I think it's a lot of depth, not a lot of star power. I know Marchenko kind of broke out last year, and Monahan had a really good year, but I don't necessarily see... I would be impressed if they had as strong point-producing seasons many seasons in a row, or I could see it going down a bit and then increasing back up again. I would be really surprised if they both built off of that. So I'm going to give it a B-, because I do think there's still quite a lot of NHL players on that team.
Sufi?
I gave it a B. I think that guys like Fantilli, Johnson, Marchenko, those guys have potential to improve on what they did last year. Marchenko maybe not. I think if he can repeat what he did last year, it'll be huge for him. But Fantilli, I think, is going to be one of the better players in the NHL probably in the next 4 or 5 years. I think he has a lot of skill, and he did break out a bit last year and scored 31 goals. But I do see a point jump from him at some point. So I give him a B. Depth is good. No real superstars yet.
Yeah, for me it's also B-, and that's just because while there is potential / hope for some of these guys to perform like they did last year, like Monahan and Marchenko, I think there's also the other side where you're not actually 100% sure if they are going to perform the same way. So, if those guys don't, I get that they have depth and they have NHL players that can perform and whatnot. So, forward-wise, they're not terrible. I just think if you don't get the same kind of performances out of people like Monahan, Marchenko, honestly, even Werenski for that matter, then I think it's a little bit up in the air. So B-. Defense.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad defense core. I think the top four is pretty solid, especially led by Werenski. And again, there's 8 people trying to make the lineup. So, it's not the strongest in the NHL, but I don't think it's weak by any means. I would give it a B+. And I do the plus just because Werenski had such a strong season last year. And I think Provorov and Severson are top fours. And Fabro is... Yeah.
Sometimes useful in fantasy,
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I actually give him a B+ as well. I like their top 4. I mean, I don't really like Provorov as a player necessarily, or what he's getting paid. But behind Werenski in the 2 slot in left defense, it's a good player to have. And then Severson is another solid guy. Fabro actually had a really good season last year playing with Werenski, so that top 4 is solid. Depth options aren't bad. I'm not a big fan of Branson. I think that's well known, but he's fine, I guess, as a third pair defenseman. And then Matchuk and Christensen are actually pretty good options on the left side there. So it's a B+ for me.
Yeah, I'll say B plus, mainly for me because of Wierenski. But also the top four is not bad, and at the same time, the top four I think age wise is pretty good. Like you've got all these players together, kind of apart. Like Severson's a bit older, but Wierenski, Provorov, Fabro all kind of entering the prime together and similar age. So you have a defense that's like, potentially could stay together if they perform well and kind of grow together. So yeah, and Wierenski is obviously great. Evan, goaltending.
Not great. This is definitely their weak point. Scares me a little. I think Deacons is an all right goalie. He's had his moments, but I don't know. Like it doesn't scream. I'm I'm super confident going into the season with these three. So I will give it a C plus.
Sufi.
I gave them a C minus. I think, honestly, before the Fedotov trade, I had them at a C plus. But
They just added a goalie and you went, no.
it actually made it worse. Yes, he was awful last year and the year before. The one glimmering hope they have is Jet Greaves. He's 20 games of NHL experience. He actually qualifies as a rookie. So for me, he's actually like a dark horse Calder candidate. What I saw from him in the last 10, 15 games of the season was absolutely insane. He had 12.9 goals saved above average in 12 games. That's insane. And he was one of the best AHL goalies for the last couple of years. So I think the more games they give him, the higher the grade goes. Because I don't like the other two goalies.
I agree. So I'll give it a C just because of the potential of Greaves. Obviously, you never know how much a young guy's performance is going to fluctuate over a year, especially if he's given more games. So giving him more games could mean, that's better for the Jackets, but also could mean that, he struggles a bit more too. So a little bit up in the air, but yeah, we'll give it a C because of his potential. All right. X Factor potential breakout and bounce back.
X Factor's Wierenski. I don't have to explain that. Voronkov for breakout. I think he had a pretty strong year last year, but he did get hurt at one point. So if he can kind of keep on the pace he did last year, I could see him reaching around 30 goals. And then bounce back again, someone who was injured. Monahan having a full healthy season. Not a true 1C, but it's who they have. So if he can have a strong season in that slot, that would be really beneficial.
My X Factor is also Wierenski. If he stays healthy and is as good as last year, this team is much better. But if he gets hurt at all, they're kind of screwed. Breakout, I have Jet Greaves because of what I said, and it's a similar thing to Hofer, where I think that he could end up stealing the starting job from either of these two goalies pretty easily. So that's my breakout. And then bounce back, I have Damon Severson because he was kind of bad last year and was injured. So
I'm gonna go X Factor is Marchenko only because I feel like I know what I'm gonna get out of Wierenski, and I feel like he will perform in a similar way. So he's but Marchenko is more of a question mark. So if he can do what he did last season and potentially even more, that's going to be vital for them. For my breakout, I'll do Voronkov as well. And then for my bounce back, maybe Merzlikins, if he can have a bit of a better season, sure. I don't know where he's bouncing back from really, but yeah.
Evan, where do you have this team?
I have this team fifth.
I also have them fifth.
And missing.
I'm missing, yes. I have them fifth and missing.
Exact same for me.
Yeah.
All right. New Jersey Devils. Their new additions were Connor Brown and Evgeny Dadonov. Key departures were Eric Howla, Curtis Lazar, and Brian Dumoulin. Their top prospect pool isn't really that great anymore, but that's because most of their prospects are now playing. But they do have Silayev, who is this 6'7" or 8" giant. That he's very similar to Simon Edvinsson in Detroit, but still very young. So we'll see if he makes it. And then Seamus Casey played in the playoffs last year because of injuries, because literally everyone got injured last year, and he actually performed pretty well. So he figures to get a chance at this lineup as well. He's really good.
roster or lineup. Sorry.
Lineups looking like we have Timo Meyer with Jack Hughes and Bratt, Palat with Heischer and Nason, Cotter with Mercer and Dadnov, Gritzyak, never heard of that guy, Glass and Brown, and then we have McDermott and Lamico fighting for spots. On defense, we have Siegenthaler and Hamilton, Luke Hughes and Pesci, Dylan and Kovacevic, and then Casey and Nemec fighting for spots on defense. In goal, we have Jacob Markstrom, Allen, and Dawes.
And last season, they had a record of 42, 33, and 7, which was 16th in the league. 36 regulation wins, which was 11th, and they lost in round 1 of the playoffs. 2.93 goals for per game, which was 20th, and 2.68 goals against, which was 5th. 28% PP, which was 3rd, and 82% PK, which was 2nd. They're both really good. And their average age is 27. Sophie, let's go with you.
My forwards grade is an A. Center depth, always important, and they have some of the best center depth in the league with Hughes, Heischer, and Mercer. And even Glass as your 4C is really good. And then filling out their top 6, Stefan Nason's been one of the more underrated players in recent years, always between 20-25 goals, and he's played pretty well for Jersey and I think Carolina before that. And then Jesper Bratt's kind of turned into this playmaking star with back-to-back 60 assist seasons and like mid-20 goals. So I think Meyer is kind of the if he can get back to what he was in San Jose, this is like an A plus. But with where he's at right now, it's just an A.
Yeah, I'll also give it an A. I also would like the addition. We know the center depth. We know like Hughes, Bratt, Hischier, all these guys. I would like the addition of Brown, for example. I think Brown's potentially going to move into the 3rd line and not even keep a 4th line role. I think he's pretty useful. But yeah, I like some of their depth as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I think A, maybe A minus, but I'll go with an A. The center depth is very solid, which is most important on forward. And yeah, have some okay depth. I think definitely the deadline, I could see them adding some wingers. But for now, I think the core of the centers really speaks the loudest.
I gave them an A minus on defense. Dougie Hamilton, when he's healthy, is a very good top pair defenseman. And Luke Hughes has only been improving since he's entered the league. And after a good rookie year and a good second year, he's figuring to be like a top pair defenseman eventually. But Hamilton with Siegenthaler also just makes sense because defensive defenseman. Pesci in your top 4 is very good. And then Kovacevic on your bottom pair, like he could easily be a top pair or a top 4 defenseman, but defensively insane. Brendan Dillon also has depth as well. And then Nemec and Casey as your depth options, like those are very high potential guys. So A minus for me.
Yeah, A minus for me as well. Hamilton, of course, the main reason for that. And yeah, they've got decent depth, and in terms of age too, they're not like terribly old or anything. So yeah.
I think it's a pretty strong defense core. Yeah, it's definitely in the A's. Siegenthaler, Kovacevic, and Pesci, honestly, being super strong defensively. You have Luke Hughes, good puck mover, and Hamilton, like Sophie said, when he's healthy, he's one of the league's best, shoots a lot. So I'm going to give it an A.
Yeah. The goaltending here is like a bit of a question mark just because Markstrom is getting older. And he had a bit of an off year last year. He had a very off year last year for his standards. So him bouncing back is kind of imperative. So that's why I give it a B+. Because in terms of backups, Jake Allen, even at 35, is one of the better backups in the league. And then Nico Dawes is a good option if something happens there. But yeah, Markstrom's kind of the catalyst here. If he can play like he did 2 years ago, this is an A-. But if he bounces back to even average of the 2 years that he had in Jersey, then it's a B+ for me.
So I'll give it an A- only because I think Markstrom was injured for a bunch last year, right? Didn't he miss like a lot?
I don't think so.
Or was that only Hamilton?
I think he might have got hurt near the end of the year.
I don't know why for some reason I remember Hughes going down and then also
He
Markstrom
played
going
49
down.
games.
Okay, so maybe it was second half. Okay. Anyway, 49 games, I guess, as a starter. I guess he was injured. Yeah, I'll give it an A minus because Markstrom. I know he's 35, but like generally speaking, he should give you a solid starter, especially with the good defense core you have plus the forwards. I think he's a solid there, and obviously Allen is a very solid backup. So I think he deserves an A minus. Evan.
Yeah, I mean, Markstrom can be very good. I think the two guys backing him up are all right. I'll give it an A minus because I think the defense core will make it look better than it is.
Fair enough.
You should up the defense core score, but the goalie score.
No.
Well, he's not going to give the defense an A plus.
Yeah, or an A. Wait, did you give it an A? Oh, okay, you give it an A. Okay,
Yeah.
not an A minus. Okay.
My X Factor bounce back and potential breakout for this is X Factor is Luke Hughes, and this is mostly just because he's an RFA right now, still unsigned. So quite important to get him signed and come to the agreement, preferably before the season starts, because when he plays for them, he is one of the better defensemen and has the potential to be one of the better defensemen in the league when he reaches prime. Potential breakout for me is Seamus Casey. I think because of all the injuries that happened last year, it's not out of the question that some guys get injured again. So he might get some playing time, and he looked really good in the playoffs last year. So my bounce back is Timo Meier, actually, not Markstrom, even though that seems like the obvious choice. But Meier for me is like an important bounce back because an already good offense with Meier playing like he did in San Jose reaches like another level. So
yeah,
he's the one for me.
Yeah, X factor for me would be Jack Hughes. Obviously, he's their best center. He's their best player, I would say. And his health last year is a big reason why I guess they didn't end up further in the playoffs. My breakout, I would probably say Luke Hughes. Yeah, I'll say Luke Hughes for breakout because he's an RFA and he's also very young. And my bounce back also is Meier because he needs to be at least like a 60-point guy.
Yeah.
My X factor is Jack Hughes. He's their best player, and a healthy Jack Hughes can have 100 plus points, no doubt. Breakout Luke Hughes, if and when he signs, I think he'll be such a great kind of progressing player on that defense and make it look even better. And then bounce back Markstrom. I think it's such a strong defense core. It'll be easier for him to have a strong year.
I have this team second in the Metropolitan.
I have this team also second in the Metro.
Same.
So far we're all together.
You didn't have Carolina first.
Oh, that's never mind. We're not all together. Yeah.
I'm very concerned as to who your first place team is. I'm not gonna lie.
I know who it is.
Do you?
I saw.
Okay.
I have an inkling, and I'm concerned. Moving on to the New York Islanders, I want to go through this as fast as possible. New additions: Druin Shabana from the KHL and Emil Heineman, and a big key departure in Noah Dobson. They've kind of done an overhaul of their prospects and have gotten some good pieces. Matthew Schaefer, first overall pick last year, very good. Callum Ritchie from the Brock Nelson trade, also a high-end prospect, potentially going to be the lineup this year. Cole Eiserman is like a goal-scoring prospect, like a strict goal-scoring prospect. And then Eklund is another high-end elite prospect in terms of offense. Aitchison, this guy, tank. He just hits like crazy. So, honestly, we could see him in the NHL even earlier. But yeah.
All right, for lines, we have Jonathan Druin with Barzell and Palmieri. We have Lee with Horvat and Holmstrom. Duclair with Pajot and Shabanov. Tiplikov with Cizikas and Heineman. Engvall, Ritchie, and Gatcombe, legend, voting for, or trying to get spots. On defense, we have Pelican Pulak, Romanov and D'Angelo, Schaefer and Mayfield, and then Bear and Boquist trying to get spots. And in net, Sorokin, Varlamov, and Riddick.
All right. The stats from last season: 35, 35, and 12, which was 23rd. 28 regulation wins, again 23rd. They missed the playoffs. 2.7 goals for a game, which was 27th, and 3.1 goals against, which was 20th. 12.6% PP, which was 31st, and 72% PK, which was also 31st, and their average age is 27.
Or you can start with this one.
All right, I'll kick us off. I give their forward core a solid D plus.
Fair.
I'm gonna give it a D plus. Barzell, I don't really. He's hard to tell what we're gonna get out of him. Is he gonna stay healthy? If he's healthy, is he gonna be an 80, 85 point player? I don't know. Why is Palmieri on line one? I don't know. Why did they think Drouin was a good addition for line one? I don't know. I don't know much about why their roster is like this. Why is Engvall still on the team? You know. So yeah, like a couple of guys in the bottom, like Duclair. Sure, like he's okay down there. Whatever. This is not anything. This is not a team that's going to score goals again. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I mean it's a whole lot of interesting. Drouin, I don't know how he's gonna do without kind of like a top line center. Barzell coming off of injuries, so hopeful, but I don't know. Horvat will probably be pretty consistent with like a 30 and 30. Palmieri's older, probably get around 20, low 20s in goals. Lee is also getting older, but had a pretty good year last year. But again, it's a slower team with okay depth. It's a B minus.
You give it a B minus?
I think so, because the only reason is I think Drouin, Lee, Duclair, Barzell, Horvat, Pajot, Palmieri all have the potential to have 20 goals each. I don't think it'll happen. But I think if enough people can do something at the same time, it'll be fine. But it's
a lot of hope for B minus.
Yeah, it's not like. But the thing is, Drouin could be terrible. Barzell could get hurt. Lee and Palmieri could be older, and nothing happens. So it could literally be Horvat and friends.
How can you give it a B in any sense?
You can give it a C plus if you want. If you guys don't agree with me.
No, I mean it's your score, but I just mean like when there's so many question marks, and even your best pieces when they're healthy, there's question marks around them too. How are we like?
Fine, C plus.
How are we saying a B? And it's probably not in your playoff. You probably haven't ranked them in the playoffs at all either. So
I think it's an okay team. But I mean, it's like
the thing with the Islanders are they're always an okay team. Sometimes they're okay enough to get into the playoffs, but they're always okay.
Are you B minus or C plus?
I'm F.
Just pick one.
C plus, sure. Omar's yelling at me. So.
I give them a C minus. This forward core is terrible, and Barzell could either be what he was in his first year, or that one other 80-point season, or when he's fully healthy and still put up the 65 to 70-point season. So we'll see. But even with that, like they don't really have anything else going on. So it's a C minus.
Yeah, your top line center shouldn't be only giving you 60, 70 points. I don't know. Like you should have at least an 80-point top line center at minimum for me to give you like, oh, you're a potentially B rated offense.
All right, defense.
Defense. C. I don't have much to say about them. There's no one that stands out. There's no like true star or anything. They're just all guys who can like decently play and defend. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like it's actually like not a bad top four. It's kind of like St. Louis in the sense of they don't have that one, but they have a lot of people that are like solid. And then Schaefer could be interesting. Mayfield, I personally like as a 6 because he's big and hurts people, like me. Except I'm more of an emotional hurt kind of guy. I would give it a B.
It's a C plus for me. I like Pelech and Pulock are good 3-4, but they're 1-2. Romanov's actually like a decent top 4. D'Angelo is strictly offense and nothing else. Schaefer is a wild card. He's turning 18 this year. He might have already turned 18. I don't know. When I made this, he was 17. So, and then Mayfield literally just hits and sucks at everything else. So, I think Bachfest and Bear could actually get a chance in this top 6. But yeah, it's a C plus for me.
Goaltending, their one redeeming quality. I'll give it an A minus. Sorokin deserves an A. He's great. Varlamov as a backup. Varlamov as a backup is, I don't know, old, 37. I don't know what to think of Riddich. So A minus. It could be an A if these guys perform well too. But Sorokin deserves the A.
I think it's an A. Sorokin is one of the better goalies in the league. Varlamov has been a pretty good backup, and when Sorokin's been out, a good replacement for him for a while. And if need be, Rittich is there, who can play NHL games.
It's an A for me for the same reasons as Evan. But look at Hogberg's year last year, bro. That was tough.
Mm,
My God.
yeah.
But yeah, it's an A. I don't know. Sorokin is just one of my favorite
Yeah.
boys. Actually, it just sucks that he's on this team.
I don't know how much longer. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish the episode. So you guys might have to go on without me. Just so you know.
Okay, let's maybe try speeding it up. Okay, my X factor is Barzell, health wise and everything, and how does he perform? Very important. My breakout, I'm gonna say is I don't know who even to put. Let's put Richie. Maybe he'll do something. And then bounce back. Probably would have to be Druin to see if he has a new first line role potentially on the team. So yeah, maybe he can.
X Factor is Sorokin. He's their best, most valuable player. Breakout would also be Callum Ritchie. I think, if they're going to be successful, they need more offense. And I think he, as a young, talented player, could bring some of that. And then for bounce back, it'd be Barzell with his health and hopefully a lot of points for them.
My X factor is Barzell. I think his health is a big reason if this team does anything this year. My breakout is actually Simon Holmstrom. He has a very nice shot, and I think he can potentially score late 20s and goals. And my bounce back is Ryan Pollock. He had a rough year last year. So,
All right, I've got the New York Islanders in 6th place in the division.
I have them in 7th place.
I have them in 6th.
All right, New York Rangers.
The New York Rangers, new additions, Taylor Radish, Vladislav Gavrikov, and I think Scott Morrow is his first name. Key departure is Keandre Miller. Not a great top prospect pool, but they do have Gabe Perreault, who's going to play this year, and he's really good.
All right, Evan.
Lineup. We have Artemi Panarin with JT Miller, 29th captain, and Lafreniere. We have Cooley, Zibanejad, and Perreault. Edstrom, Trocheck, and Radish. Parsonen, Carrick, and Brempe. And then Berard and Brodzinski trying to fight for spots. On defense, we have Gavrikov and Fox, Susie and Borgen, Schneider and Morrow, and Vakanainen trying to fight for a spot. And in goal, the man, Igor Shesterkin, and Jonathan Quick backing him up.
All right, last year's record was 39, 36, and 7, which was 22nd. 35 regulation wins, which was 13th. They missed the playoffs. 3 goals for per game, which was 12th, and 3 goals against, which was 19th. 17% PK, which was 18th, and 80%. 17% PP, which was 18th, and 80% PK, which was 11th. And their average age is 26. Evan, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I mean, the forward core is pretty good. I think the center core is really strong, those top 3, really strong. Panarin could give you 120 points this year. Cooley brings a little bit of everything. Lafreniere, if he continues to progress, then having a top prospect in Perreault. It's strong. I don't love the 4th line, but I think it does the job, I suppose. But it's obviously carried by the higher end of the lineup. I'm going to give it an A minus.
I'll also give it an A minus. I think, especially with the Miller addition up there, Panarin's going to be Panarin. Hopefully Zibanejad has a bit of a more productive season. He didn't do terrible last year, but but yeah, and Lafreniere has kind of become more of a useful guy and made his way into the top 6 more regularly. So yeah,
I gave it a B. I think the superstars are this is a very top heavy. The winner,
But those 3 centers.
yeah, but this
Sick.
Zibanejad was awful last year, and I don't like he wasn't really good the year before either. So
Yeah,
you're
like 60
gonna
points last
But
year.
even if
You're
he is
gonna
on the
take-
third line,
you're gonna
that's
take
an
a bounce
insane
back
third.
for him. Trocheck was not great, but he's a good third line center. The center depth is good. The wingers are not good. Like aside from Panarin, like Lafreniere, we're in like year 5 of him being like a very mid player.
Yeah.
Gabe Perreault, you don't know where you're gonna get him as a rookie, but he is he has the potential to be on the first line, I guess. And Cully's like a solid 40-point guy that hits a lot. The bottom 6 is not good aside from Trocheck. So there's no real depth on this team, and no one that's really exciting other than Perreault coming up either. So it's a B for me.
Evan, defense.
Very strong top pair, probably one of the best in the league. I think Susie and Borgen, it's like a all right 3-4. I feel like that's also an okay third pair, but I obviously carried by the top one. So I'm going to give it a B plus just because of the top pair being so strong.
Yeah, same here. B plus. Meaning because of Fox and Gavrikov.
Very different opinions
Yeah.
about this team.
Go ahead.
It's a C plus for me. The top pair is good, and then after that you have 4, 5 guys that are like 6s on most teams. Like Susie and Borgen are bottom pair defensemen as their top 4. Schneider and Morrow also bottom pair defensemen. Back and nine, the same thing. So like the top pair is the only reason that this isn't like even lower.
Okay. Evan, your goalie scores.
It's very sick. I won't lie. I'll give it an A. I was thinking about A plus, but I'm going to give it an A. Shesterkin is, in my opinion, probably the second best goalie in the league. And Quick has been a pretty effective backup. But again, he won't play that many games, but probably get some easier matchups.
A plus for me because of Shesterkin, and I think as a backup, Quick is more than great. Yeah.
It's an A minus for me. We haven't really seen Shesterkin's like the year that he had when he won everything aside from MVP. He's been like a mid 2s GAA, like 9.09 to 9 save percentage, except last year where it was way worse than that. So if he can get back to like borderline MVP, it's great, but we haven't seen that for a couple of years. And then Quick is old, and he was okay last year.
All right, Evan, your X factor, potential breakout, and bounce back.
My X factor is Igor Shesterkin. He's their most valuable player. I think the breakout will be Lafreniere. I think, again, playing with Panarin helps, but then having JT Miller, who's a legit first-line center, will help him if he's on that line. And then for bounce back, Senators legend Mika Zibanejad.
For me, X factor is Panarin. I think he needs to be that 90-point guy for this team to, go far. I think my breakout would also be Lafreniere at 23, getting top-line minutes potentially this season. Playing with Miller and Panarin should, kind of boost him a little bit, hopefully a lot. And then bounce back would have to also be Zibanejad because,
Who was your X factor?
Panarin.
Yeah, my X factor is Shesterkin. I think, like the Jets, this is an incredibly flawed team where the goalie makes up for a lot of the blemishes, and that's what happened when Shesterkin was like his stats were elite of the elite, and when his stats have dropped last year, we saw this team falter. So he's going to need to be Hellebuck level for this team to make the playoffs. Potential breakout, I have Will Cully. I've given up on Alex Lafreniere, and I've moved my attention to Cully. Hits a lot, strong power forward. Bounce back for me is also Mika Zibanejad for obvious reasons.
All right, Evan, where do you have them?
I have them 4th.
Making?
No.
Damn.
I have them first, and obviously making.
Wait, no, I do have them making. Oops.
You have them first.
First in the div.
I have them 4th and not making.
Yeah, man.
Yeesh.
They are going to be good. Watch it.
No.
They have the star power. They have the goalie. And you know what? In my opinion, they have the coach now, Mike Sullivan.
Whatever you say, big guy.
For forwards, I think the Philadelphia Flyers aren't spectacular, but I think they have some fun. Like Michkov is very fun. Zegers can be. Konechny I really like as a player. It's not great. I'll give it a C because I think some of their older players like Couturier, lots of health issues, and then a lot of question marks with people like Zegers. But if you're a Flyers fan, it'll be at least somewhat entertaining to watch. On defense, not super strong, I'll be honest. It's kind of Sanheim and the boys. I'll probably give this one a D+. And in net, Ersson and Vladar, also not super strong. I'll probably give this a D+ as well.
All right, and your X Factor, breakout, and bounce back.
My X Factor for the Philadelphia Flyers is Travis Konechny. He's their best player, without a doubt, in my opinion. The breakout, Michkov, I could see him getting another 10, 15, 20 more points than he did last year. And then bounce back. If Couturier can have a full healthy season, that'd be really great for him, and I think would really stabilize their center core a lot more than having Zegers as your 1C.
And where do you have them ranked?
I have them last in the Metro. Pittsburgh obviously has the big names in Crosby, Malkin, but a lot of these players are older, like Rust 33 and Raquel 32 being the younger side. So not a ton of great depth either, to be honest. Hopefully Crosby can do something for them because I feel a little bit bad, and so maybe I ranked them a little high because I want them to do well. I would give them a C- only because of Crosby. Raquel and Rust are nice, but that's like a first-ish line, and then the boys. On defense, it's not bad. It's not great, but Carlson's there. So yeah, I'll also give that probably like a C-. Like it's, I'm worried they're going to let in a lot of goals. And in goal, Jari, not the strongest starter. Silvos did okay in Vancouver, and maybe Marc-Andre Fleury. If that, it's an A+. But if they don't have Marc-Andre Fleury, I'll give this a C-.
C- Crocs, okay. X Factor, potential breakout.
X Factor, Sidney Crosby's the best player. It's no one else is going to be their X Factor. Breakout, McGroarty. I don't know how else is going to break out because everyone's declining with age. And then bounce back, Erik Karlsson could love him.
And where do you have them?
I have them 6th and missing, obviously.
All right, Washington.
Washington, I think it's a very strong forward core, really strong forward or center depth, in my opinion. Wings are good, not great. I think they could use a bit more. But again, I think centers are the most important. And with Ovechkin, Wilson, and Protas on the wings, it's still pretty solid. I'll give it an A-.
Sorry,
On defense, I think it's also quite strong. I think Farivar defensively, Roy defensively is very strong. Chychrun and John Carlson offensively also very strong. Sandin and TVR combination with the other guys kind of for your bottom two. Yeah, I like it quite a bit. I'll give that a A- as well. In net, it's good. I wouldn't say one of them is elite, but I think they're both solid, so I will give it a B+.
And where do you have them?
I have them.
X Factor, potential breakout.
My X Factor is Ovechkin. If he can score 45 goals again, then this team's just going to keep flying. Breakout, I have Leonard. He's their youngest player, I believe, on the roster, and be really exciting for Capitals fans. And bounce back, Sufi. He's going to have a really good season and enjoy watching this team. I have them.
Give an actual one.
Everyone performed too well last year. There's no bounce back to be had.
That's very true. They all actually overperformed already. There should be a bounce back.
That's why I put you.
There should be a regress back.
You can put Farivar because he was injured.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have them 3rd in the Metro.
Okay, cool. That's
you more than him.
It's the Philadelphia Flyers. Go ahead.
I'll do the lineup as well.
Okay.
I can go through that quick. Zegers, Dvorak, and Vladar are their new additions, with Paling and Fedotov leaving. Top prospects, they are the top 10. I don't really have too much knowledge about them. Martone is pretty good. That's pretty much all I got. Their lineup is Couturier with Konechny and Michkov, Zegers with Tippett and Forster, Cates with Dvorak and Brink. Abels, never heard of this guy in my life, with Hathaway and Delorier. And then Richard. That could be any Richard ever. Sealer and Sanheim on defense as the top pair, one of the best in the league. Yeah. York and
Absolutely.
Drysdale as a second pair is Zamula and Ristolainen as your bottom pair, and then Gilbert and Juleson fighting for spots.
Terrible decor.
Harrison and Vladar. I thought he was generous with the decor. B plus. Harrison and Vladar as your goalies.
My charger.
Oh, it's down here. Ugh.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Love you both.
Okay. All right. So last season they had a record of 33, 39, and 10, which was 27th. They had 21 regulation wins, which was 30th. They obviously missed the playoffs. It was 2.8 goals for per game, which was 24th, and 3.4 goals against, which was 28th. 15% PP, which was 30th, and 77% PK, which was 20th, and 26 is their average age.
Okay, I'll go first for forwards. I gave them. I went to Washington's page. I was about to give them a higher mark. C minus, which I think is generous, but there's some players with potential here. Michkov being the biggest one, and then Zegras is an interesting one. Back-to-back 60-point seasons, and then he really fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
But I think this is a change of scenery guy. I don't think this is a guy that's just bad now.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So yeah, C minus, pretty much just because of those two guys, if I'm being completely honest. And Omer?
I think C minus for me as well, mainly because I'm interested to see what Zegras brings, and then obviously Michkov in his second year, what he can do. So yeah, I'd give it a C minus just for that. Otherwise, yeah.
C minus?
Yeah, C minus.
I gave their forwards a D minus.
You mean the defense?
What did I say?
You said forwards.
What the fuck? I give their defense a D minus.
Yeah.
Which somehow I think is generous, because it could be an F.
Yeah, I think it is an F.
But the only reason is because I actually like Travis Sanheim.
Okay.
And then York and Drysdale are we can see what they can do. But other than that, this is the worst decor in the league for me.
Yeah, I'll be a touch nicer and give them a D, only because one Sanheim and then York and Drysdale are young. I don't know, maybe there's a step to be had there and they can improve and make it a little bit better. Like the Ristolainen brings it down to an F himself, but yeah.
I give their goalies a D. They're just not good.
Yeah, I can't argue for anything more than that either. It is a D.
Tough. I have them 8th.
I think I do too. Let me just double check. Philly is 8th, yes. For me as well.
All right, moving on to Pitt. New additions: Anthony Manta, Justin Brazeau, favorite player. Parker Wotherspoon.
Yeah.
Matt Dumba and Alex Alexiev. And then key departure was Alex Nedeljkovic. Top prospects: Rucker McGordy is the one that wanted to lead Winnipeg, so hopefully he can do something for them. But other than that, they don't really have much going on in prospects either. So this is a bad team with no prospect pool. Is pretty much all I got for you. I'll go. And then their forward core is Crosby with Rustin Raquel, Heinen, Malkin, and Mantha, Novak with Achari and Lizotte, Kevin Hayes with Justin Brazeau and Connor Dewar, former Leaf.
Yeah.
And then Tom Cito and McGordy fighting for spots. Graves and Letang on defense as the first player. Shea and Letang, or Graves and Carlson, and then Shea and Letang as their top 4. Wotherspoon, Clifton, Alexiev, and Dunbar are all actually fighting for spots. We'll just see what combination ends up in the bottom pair. And then Jari, Silas, and Joel Blomqvist as their goalies.
Last year they had a record of 34, 36, and 12, which was 24th. They had 24 regulation wins, which was 27th. They missed the playoffs, 2.9 goals for, which was 18th, and 3.5 goals against, which was 29th. 25% PP, which was 6th, and 77% PK, which was 18th, and their average age is 28 years old.
We didn't do the Philly X Factor breakout. Let's just do that. All right. My X Factor for Philly is Zegras. Important that he comes back in form. Breakout is Michkov. I think he'll be an 80-point player next year. And bounce back is Owen Tippett. I think he had another year and he kind of went back last year.
I'm gonna go. X factor is Michkov only because like he needs to be really good for this team to potentially do anything. Even though I mean they can't do anything regardless of how good he is, to be honest. My breakout would yeah, I'm gonna go breakout Tippett, and then I'm gonna go bounce back for Zegras because he's had a couple of bad seasons. So if he does well, it's definitely a bounce back.
Okay, the forwards for the Pittsburgh Penguins, I gave a C. It's not a D, pretty much lit just because of Crosby.
Yeah, I would do C as well, only because of Crosby and whatever little Malkin still has to offer.
The defense, I actually gave a D plus. I think your two best defensemen are really old offensive defensemen who suck defensively, and then the rest of the defense is just bad. So I can't really give anything higher than a D plus. I think that's also generous. That's just
I'm giving it a C minus just because of the name of Carlson and the name of Letang and the potential they can still do something offensively, even though they're at these ages that they can still contribute offensively.
in goalies, I gave a C minus. Jari was good like 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe you can get back to that. And then I do have Blomqvist is actually like in the Jet Greaves type beat, where he played a little bit and he was actually pretty good at times. So his stats don't say that at all because he's a 3.81 GA, but still.
I'd have to give goaltending a D plus. Jari was like put on waivers last year.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I get the team in front of him is not helping him, but he also has just been terrible, even just looking at him in net without the other issues of the team. So it has to be a D plus unless I can see that he's going to be more consistent or at least be decent.
I have this team 7th in the Metropolitan.
I think me too. Yes, 7th for me as well.
Okay, moving on to my team.
The Washington Capitals.
The new additions are Sourdiff and Chisholm, just depth pieces. Key departures, got rid of some dead weight this year, thank God. And Mangiapane, Eller, Radish, and Alexiev. I'm so happy all 4 of those players are gone, I'm not going to lie. Our prospect pool for a good team is good, really good. We don't really have anything in terms of goaltending prospects, so that hurts our rank a bit. But Leonard, Hudson, Crystal, Protas, and Lakovic are like a very good top 5 in a prospect pool. And Leonard can be a effective player this year. Crystal could also potentially make the lineup. And then Cole Hudson needs to sign out of college next year, but he is producing at a higher level than Lane Hudson. So I'm very encouraged by his progress. And then their lineup, I forgot I have to do this now. Strome in between Ovechkin and Wilson. Dubois in between Protas and Beauvillier, McMichael with Leonard and Mroznichenko, and then Duhaime, Dowd, and Sourdiff as the 4th line. Potentially Milano and Lapierre make appearances as well. Defense, Fehérváry, Carlson, Chychrun and Roy, Sandin and TVR, and then Chisholm and McElrath as our depth pieces in case someone gets injured, and then Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren in net.
All right, last year they were 51, 22, and 4, which was second in the league. 43 regulation wins, again, second in the league. They lost in round 2 of the playoffs. 3.4 goals for per game, which was second, and 2.7 goals against, which was 9th. 23% power play, which was 14th, and 82% PK, which was 4th. And their average age is 26 years old.
I'm going to go first.
Go. Yes, you take this one.
Forward core, I have as B+. I really like our center depth, and because Strome and Dubois are like a good 1-2. Strome broke out last year with an 82-point season. And then our wingers, I actually am encouraged by because Wilson and Protas on the right side is very good. Leonard, I think, can actually work into our top 6, and Beauvillier was really strong in the playoffs. So, like, I'm very encouraged by all that. And then we have a bunch of, like, younger guys like Mroznichenko, Crystal that could potentially make the lineup. Who are very encouraging as well. And we have one of the best 4th lines in the league with Dowd and Duhaime and then whoever they play with. So it's a B+ for me. The only thing we're really lacking is, like, a true superstar. Leonard in, like, 5 years, maybe. But right now we don't have, like, a true superstar.
You still have Ovechkin's name is right there. You can't say that still.
I know. But, like, we have a lot of, like, we're not only relying on Ovechkin to score goals, which is important.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we have a good forward core. So B plus for me.
Yeah, I'll give it also a B. I'll give it a B plus as well. Yeah, B plus. I would say that there's a couple of question marks for me just in terms of, well, a couple of players perform like they did last season. Wilson being one of them, and Strom being another one. But apart from that, it's a pretty. If like I think Dubois has kind of found his niche in terms of the defensive play and that kind of role as a second line center, and I feel like that he's not going to like regress from that all of a sudden. I feel like that's a game he's found. It's not like he had like 80 points and that was an outlier for him, so he's going to drop down or something from that. So yeah, I think his role on the team is pretty secure, and I think we can expect what we expected last year from him. Maybe he can produce actually more offensively.
Yeah, he had a rough time goal scoring in the first 20 games. He had 1 goal in 20 games, and he still ended up with 20 goals. So I think goal scoring is the one thing he could potentially improve on.
Yeah. Defense.
For me, this is one of the better defense decors in the league. Like we're from 1 to 6, really good. I have it as an A minus just because, again, no like superstar player. But in terms of depth, it's like pretty unmatched. The fact that Sandin and TVR is our bottom pair, which could easily be a second pair, and then Chikrin as a goal scoring defenseman is one of the best in the league, and then Fairbury and Roy are very good defensively. Carlson has turned into a better defensive player while still producing offense. And then I also like our depth options. Like McElrath, when he played, was good enough for the bottom pair. And Chisholm, for coming from Minnesota, is actually a decent bottom pair defenseman as well, and he's an extra for us. So it's an A minus for me.
I'll give the D an A. The only kind of the only kind of drawback a little bit is the age of Carlson, but he's still quite useful out there. So I can't really apart from that, I think last year too, this was a good decor. They're deep, and they have Chikrin was amazing, so I think they deserve an A.
Hey, I gave their goalies. I gave it a B plus as well, like Evan. I think Thompson was good in Vegas, but people thought it was just because of Vegas, and then he was going to drop off when he went to Washington, and he put up really good numbers in Washington. So I think by now he has actually proven himself, and the good thing for him is that he has a good backup, so he doesn't have to play 60 games. He can play 45, 50, put up good numbers. Lindgren can play 30, 35, and be good. So it's a B plus for me.
Yeah, me too. I would say B plus. I think if Thompson can hit another gear, like he has a good defense core in front of him, he has deep forwards in front of him. If he can hit another gear and hit kind of that 915, 918 range, that would be great. But yeah, it would push him to an A.
Thing is, he was there until like the last 10 games of the season were just like really bad. But he was at like 919 for like the majority of the year and then just fell off.
Okay, yeah.
So if he doesn't have another bad 10 games, I think he should reach that as well.
All right, X Factor.
Oh, yeah, X Factor for me. For me, it's Chikrin. I think because we're paying him a lot of money now.
Yeah.
Right? So with Carlson leaving, it's going to transition to him being the guy on defense. And he's going to get a lot of power play time. So the production needs to be there, and he needs to kind of hold his own defensively. I don't expect him to be crazy defensively, but him turning into like our number one guy is going to be a huge thing for us. Breakout is easy for me as Ryan Leonard. I think being one of the top prospects is like tenacity. He has the potential to be in our top 6 this year and then eventually be an elite player. And bounce back is Fairbury, or no, who have it bounce back? Oh, I have Charlie Lindgren. I think he put up decent stats for a backup last year, but I think it was a bit of drop in play from the year before where he actually got like MVP votes.
Yeah.
So I think if he can reach like a 905 save percentage, that's a bounce back.
I would say my X factor for this team right now is Strome. Just because he had a crazy season last year. He had, I think, the most assists on Ovi's goals. I think he was setting up Ovi a lot and stuff. So I think he kind of has to keep that going. I don't know. Like I think it was his highest producing year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he had 2 good years before that in Washington. I think it was 65 and then 67 points, and the last year was 82 points.
The thing is, like I could say, like the thing is, Ovechkin. I don't care if he's 39. I don't care if he's 42. Like if you give him the puck, he's gonna score. Like, he's going to score from his spots. You get in the pocket and he gets a shot off. He will score goals. He'll get 30. He'll get 35. He'll get 40 goals. Regardless of how much he's moving around and stuff, he'll find his spots. You got to find him.
Mhm.
And if Storm can keep doing that, then this team will be successful. It's just, I think that's why he's X Factor. Potential breakout, yeah, for sure. It's definitely Leonard. And then bounce back. Yeah, this is the one I'm really struggling with watching. I don't know who to say for bounce back at all. I'm gonna go Ferravari as well.
I have this team in third in the Metropolitan.
I have them fourth, but I have them in the playoffs. I just have them fourth. It's because
It's a lot of competition. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
But you're also way higher on New York than me. So
That's what I mean. Yeah, the only reason they didn't make top three is because I flick the Rangers up there.
this team is like miles better than New York for me.
I'm pretty sure most people would probably agree with you.
But like, it's just so the offense for me, like we can close this episode off first and we talk about this.
All right, guys. So that was our Metro picks. We'll have the Atlantic for you shortly, but let us know what you think. Let us know how crazy our takes are compared to you. Please check us out on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Amazon Music, on iHeartRadio, on Stitcher, on SiriusXM. Follow us on TikTok and on